Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be second trimester symptoms and tips how to deal with those symptoms. If you haven't seen my first trimester video, check that out on my channel. It goes over obviously the first trimester. So this is going to be second trimester specific. So if you're into that, keep on watching. The first symptom that I experienced during the second trimester that was new was shortness of breath. So we're not talking like, oh, you exercised and then you got short of breath. No. We're talking like that you walked in the house from your garage and you were short of breath. And that's completely normal. The uterus at that point is growing a lot. It was at 14 weeks that this really ramped up, and it has lasted until now, which I am 33 weeks currently. It's just something to adjust to. My tip for this is to wear a heart monitor of some kind. So that's like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or whatever, a workout tracker that you can have with you. And that is just helpful because when you're short of breath, your heart rate is going up. So it's just good to be mindful of that, because I noticed another symptom that I'll talk about in this video from that experience regarding my heart rate. The second symptom is your nipples getting darker. I really like the color that they have turned into. Of course, I was happy with my nipples before, but now they have some kind of pizzazz. So I enjoy the darkening of the nipple and the areola, and there's really no tip for that. Just enjoy it. I don't know if it lasts or not, to be honest with you. Either way, I'm fine with it. But that happened around 15 weeks. The third symptom that I experienced during the second trimester was nipple discharge. So keeping in line with those nips. This happened around 16 weeks, and it's not gross or anything. It's what our bodies are supposed to do. It's colostrum coming from your boobs, getting prepared for breastfeeding, which I'm super excited about doing. So I'm excited to see it, honestly. But what this looks like is just like a crusting, and that sounds gross, but it's not. It just kind of looks like ice crystals. When your ice cream is in the freezer for too long, which I don't know how that happens because it should be eaten anyways, but it gets ice crystals on it. Well, that's kind of what happens to the end of your nipples. And it can be different for everybody. For me, the colostrum is purely clear. I think it's based on what you eat a lot and it comes out. The tip that I have for this is to just check with your doctor. So nipple discharge can mean multiple of things, so it's good to just let them know that it's happening in case you have a history of breast cancer or breast tumors, which I do have a history of breast tumors. So I just let them know. They said it was normal. Another tip for this is you can wear breast pads in there if it's a lot and it gets wet on your bra. I haven't had that. It usually just comes out and then dries, and then you'll just see it. And one day I noticed it was leaking as is while I was getting in the shower. Yeah, pretty interesting. The fourth symptom in the second trimester was hip pain, and this started at 16 weeks as well. Now, I talked about sciatica in my first trimester video. This is different than sciatica. So in pregnancy, we release this hormone called relaxin. It relaxes our ligaments and our joints to make our hips looser for an easier childbirth. And so this relaxes your ligaments, and then when I'm sleeping, they get stuck in one spot. So my hips literally stuck, and you just have to stretch it back out to be able to move. The tip that I have for this, if it happens, which it's pretty common, is to try stretching before going to sleep, stretch when you wake up, go do a lot of walking during the day. That seems to help my hip pain. Now this has transitioned into a bigger symptom in my 3rd trimester, but this is like a really common one that you just, deal with, and walking seemed to help, so it was fine. The 5th symptom in my 2nd trimester was heart palpitations and tachycardia. So as I mentioned before with the shortness of breath, I was really watching my heart rate because I literally felt like I couldn't breathe, which is completely normal. Shortness of breath is completely normal. Just how fast my heart rate was going when I was just sitting there. So I noticed it like when I was driving, I'd be like short of breath, and I'd be like struggling and feel like I just ran, and that's not a good feeling. I don't just choose to run if I'm not being chased. And my heart rate was over 100. So if your heart rate maintains over 100 beats per minute during not physical activity, then that's considered tachycardia. So this happened around 17 weeks. I told my doctor, I was referred to a cardiologist, had the heart monitor, the whole 9. But it's important to just notify your doctor, still watch what's going on with your heart rate, and then journal what you're doing when you experience it. So the fact that I told my doctor, yeah, I'm just driving and it like beats really fast, or I'm just watching TV, or I'm just laying down and my heart will start skipping a beat, that sort of thing, then that's considered, okay, we're going to check into this. But they have said like it's probably just from the hormones of pregnancy and the extra blood volume that my body has to pump to get to the baby. So we're just kind of monitoring it at this point. It's nothing to be concerned about for my heart monitor, and I had an echocardiogram as well. The next symptom that I had during the 2nd trimester was an increase in discharge. So my doctor warned me about this around 18 weeks, and that's exactly when it started happening, was just an influx of discharge, which is called like leukorrhea. I think so. It just looks like milk. I mean, that's gross. But like I said, it's not gross because we're growing a human, and that's a miracle in itself. So the discharge is fine. The tip that I have for this is to have panty liners with you, or to wear panty liners if it bothers you, and that'll be fine. The next symptom is thick hair. So people think like in pregnancy that we grow all this extra hair. We don't. This is the same hair that we have, but our hair just doesn't shed anymore. So back when we were cave women, we needed all the warmth that we could get, and so we keep all the extra hair. So like my baby hairs have grown out, like they just don't break off anymore. This will fall out. I think it's around like 6 weeks postpartum. It'll just like start shedding. But this is like everywhere as well. So like on your belly you get hair. I don't know, maybe like your chin. You just gotta do more grooming, and that's fine. But like don't shave your belly hair because it will just go away. Like it's fine. It's not bad. It's just like a peach fuzz, and that's fine. Just let it happen. The next symptom is constipation. So yeah, we're getting very real up in here. I have never been constipated, so not familiar with that, but it's on the verge of constipation. So it's just like harder to go, and that's because during your 2nd trimester, your uterus is growing like from your pelvis all the way up to your ribs, and it's pushing your organs, your intestines, a long way from home. They're just kind of scattered everywhere, and wherever they went, that's fine. And it just like slows down your digestion. So my tip for this is to drink juice, also to eat more fiber. So I upped my fiber, and then it was a lot smoother, literally and figuratively. The next symptom is insomnia. So this started happening around 21 weeks that I had insomnia. I've experienced insomnia in the past, so I'm not that surprised that she awoke. But she did, and It's just because I think like I had a lot more energy. I have a lot on my mind. But this started happening around 21 weeks, that I would fall asleep and then I would wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning and be ready to go. And I'd just be like, what's up? Let's start our day. And so I literally lay there for a few hours. This is still happening in the third trimester. And it's added to where like it's hard to fall asleep, that sort of thing in the third trimester. But yeah, it's still happening. The next symptom for the second trimester is the little line on your belly that's like dark. When you Google it, it has a name, and I'll insert the name. But it says that it's below your belly button and like to your pelvis. But I have it like up to my ribs too. I think that it's cute. It's like a cute little dark line. And what's wrong with that? They say that it goes away after birth. I forget why it happens as well. So I don't have a tip for this because it's not a big deal and it doesn't affect your life. The next symptom for the second trimester is my feet hurt. So not both of them, which is odd, just the left one. It just feels like there's a big cramp in it when I go to walk, and sometimes it'll be better, sometimes it'll get worse. But my tip is to just soak your feet in like warm water and it can help them. I also think this is from the relaxin hormone, like moving our ligaments around, and maybe my feet are getting flatter and that's just how they feel now. I mean, pregnancy is a miracle. There's a lot that goes into it and people don't think that, but there is a lot. But my feet started hurting around 24 weeks. And that's also when I got the belly line as well. The next symptom and the last one in the second trimester is nausea. So this happened around 24 weeks as well. I did not have any nausea in my first trimester. This isn't like bad nausea that I'm going to throw up or anything like that. Sometimes it feels that way, but I haven't thrown up or anything like that. It's just like in the morning after I eat breakfast. It's always in the morning after I eat breakfast, and I'll feel like I just need to lie down. Sitting up or standing, it just feels like I'm pretty dizzy and I need to lie down in order to feel better. So that's what I do. Things that have helped with this is to eat less sugar with breakfast. So sometimes I was having like jelly toast or orange juice, which has tons of sugar in it. So I cut that out and it seems to help. It doesn't just skip it completely, but it does seem to help. And so eating like eating smaller amounts for breakfast as well helps too. If I notice if I just eat a granola bar, I feel completely way better than I do if I sit down and like eat a bowl of cereal. So that's that. So those are the symptoms and tips that I experienced in the second trimester. If you have any questions, of course, leave them below in the comments. You can always let me know your symptoms as well in the comments below. I always think that's fascinating. Everyone's different and pregnancy is so different for everybody. If you liked this video, hit subscribe and the like button. But I will see you guys in my next video.